Hi again, this is the next video in the Business Diagnostic series. In this video, you're in the operation. What we're going to look at now, last time we looked at understanding value and capacity and demand planning. This time we're going to look at how the work's managed and different levels of standardisation. So all this will come together at the end to build a picture of just where the issues are within any operation and potentially what the root causes of those are and what we can do about them. It's quite a logical sequence. So first of all, managing the work. So in terms of the work, is there any element of short interval control in place in the operation? So have a look round, and it could be electronic, it could be on wallboards, just anything. Get an idea of, is short interval control being used? Are targets known by the managers, known by the staff, and do they vary in line with demand? Do they vary in line with resource available as well? Are skills matrices in place, and are they up to date? Do we know who's trained in what? Is multi-skilling commonplace? And more appropriately, are people just multi-skilled for the hell of it? Or are they multi-skilled for specific peaks and troughs and on particular operations? So training everyone in everything could be called multi-skilling, but it's probably a waste of time. If you target where you know you've got crossovers of peaks and troughs and cross-skill in those areas, you may only need to cross-skill 10 to 20% of your staff in certain areas rather than spending ridiculous amounts of money multi-skilling everyone in everything, which is a complete waste of time. Are those skills matrices linked to training plans? Because if they aren't, how do you know what people need to be trained in what? And those training plans should be linked to business needs. As I said, you need to know your demand coming in, the types of skills that are required for those. So what you're looking for is, are all these things linked together? Does it make sense? And then in terms of standardisation, one of the key areas in any organisation is the standards, whatever you want to call them, whether they're one best way documents, best working practice documents, standard operating procedures. I've heard them called many different things. But the key thing is, there has to be standardisation in place in order for any improvement to take place. I think it was T.G. Ono who said, without standardisation, there can be no improvement. It's impossible. You have to have your standards to have the foundation, to have a baseline, to give you something to build from. If you don't have standards in place, anything that you do in terms of trying to improve your business, it's like building a house on quicksand. You are wasting your time. Standards are the fundamental of any improvement in any organisation. So you're looking for, are there any types of standard documents, process user guides, have these been mapped using a process user group approach, i.e. using subject matter experts who know the process rather than being dictated to by a group of engineers in an office? So have they got those? Are they in use? You may come across areas that say, yeah, we've got standard documents, all the processes are mapped out and they're a standard format. Now that's great, but the next question you're looking to answer is, are those standards being adhered to? Are those documents being used? Because if they aren't, then they might as well not have done them in the first place. So what you're looking for in terms of standards is, are the standards in place and are they being adhered to? Are they being used? Once you've got those, ask them, are they linked to the training materials? Or is there a complete disconnect? Your standards are over here, training materials are over here, never the twain shall meet. So your standard documentation, your standard processes have to be linked back to the training materials in terms of the people who are originally trained on the work that they do. And so ask to see the training plan and see if that's the case. Okay, in the next section we'll be looking at how that workflows, how the people are managed, and that'll include talking to the people, talking to the frontline managers, to find out a little bit more about the operation. Thanks for your time.